thing of people looking up to you, popularity.
The devil was the spur for this murder, which Pete confessed on this never-before-seen police videotape.
Yes. Go ahead and show us what you did. Okay. And I got him right through here, and I grabbed the old hand, and I pulled him through to right here. So the victim, and he was still moaning a little bit and going, like kind of like that. About this bad here, Pete. Okay, this is the bat that I threw. This is the third bat. Quite a bit of blood and hair on this thing. You can see a lot of hair on the end of it. Who all hit him? Me, myself, Jim Hardy, and Ron Clement.
It basically started out like with the killing of animals. Then there's always the heavy metal music, and drugs don't help. The heavy metal music and the heavy metal music and the heavy metal music, heavy metal music, and drugs don't help.
Now, my friends, who do you think lied to this boy? The devil or the Lord? How does the devil treat his followers? Well, it's pretty simple. So who's the liar? Is it the Lord? Well, who would want to serve the God of George Harrison? Krishna, which allows him to sing about sex and drugs. Who on earth would like to follow the God of Cat Stephen, a Muslim deity? Who would like to serve the God of Shirley MacLaine, which teaches that when she dies, or anyone else, you can be a god? Who would like to serve the God of Van Halen, which sings about sex? Well, friends, I'd rather serve the God named Jesus, because I've got the best. Well, this is an invitation to all of you. But you see, if the invitation is going to be turned down, let me remind you of a verse in the Bible that says, hey, you're not going to come to Christ? Be merry, drink wine, do it today, for tomorrow you die. Now what you just heard there was the album Grim Reaper, See You in Hell backwards. Let's hear it again. Now my friends, you may not be very well aware of the fact that the term rock and roll was a descriptive term meaning sex in the back seats of cars. Rock while the car is rolling. Well, this was used by a disc jockey named Alan Freed, and that's how rock and roll became known to the public. Well, what was the devil in heaven before he was cast out? I mentioned to you, he was a musician, and he said that he would be like God, worship. And my friends, is rock and roll moving towards the field of worshiping the devil? Even if they're doing it blindly or ignorantly, even if some do it purposefully, one would have to admit that it has become quite a powerful force in society. Well, take a look at the recent hit She-Bop. It says this, well, I see them every night in tight blue jeans in the pages of a Blue Boy magazine. Blue Movies, a pornographic magazine. I'm just feeling up these new vibrations, feeling up these new sensations. If I don't stop, I'll go blind. What are the new vibrations? Well, my friends, it's a song about masturbation. And going blind was told to us by our great-grandparents that if we did do such things, we would go blind. Oops, She-Bop. Well, what does the Led Zeppelin album portray? A Babylonian ziggurat, as you see here, with a satanic priest holding up a child to be offered to the devil. The Dead Kennedys, well, they have a song that goes like this. Now, the name of the song is I Kill Children. It says, God told me to skin you alive. I kill children. I love to see them die. I kill children to make their mothers cry. Let's take another look at the field of backward masking, and here's a song played frontward for you by the well-known band Blue Oyster Cult. Remember that satanic symbol used by this band? Well, let's play this song for you frontwards. Now my friends, did you hear that chirping sound in the background? When you slow the record down, you get this. Furthermore, our Father who art in heaven, Satan. Now watch, we're going to slow the record down and pay attention. Now my friends, with the technology that they have in studios today, it's hard to decipher these backward messages. But But you see, this is our first type of backward masking, where it's done on purpose, purposefully inserting messages in music backwards. Greg Chachiko of Jefferson Starship says, rock concerts are the churches of today. Music puts them on a spiritual plane. Now, remember our lightning bolt? Well, it's simple. This lightning bolt is a pure representation of Satan. Anton LaVey has a necklace around his neck and it has a lightning bolt. Jesus said what he said in Luke 10:18, and this lightning bolt is used by plenty of rock bands today. Grace Slick of Jefferson Starship had a son and called him God. She says in Circus Magazine, we must be humble about this. Where was the lightning bolt familiar to European countries? To Hitler's Third Reich. So who's being demoralized by this type of behavior? Simple. Rolling Stone puts it to us in this fashion in one of their record albums. You see the little children and the Rolling Stones? Now, if you think this is the kind of behavior that God looks at just being fun, you truly have been deceived by the deceiver of all time, the devil. Well, going to David Lee Roth of Van Halen, he says, I may not go down in history, but I will go down in your daughter. Bruce Springsteen has a song that says, hey little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go away and leave you all alone? I got a bad desire because I'm on fire. Well, seeing Elton John and many other rock bands kissing other men is not unpopular with Circus Magazine. Gene Simmons of Kiss says, if God is such hot stuff, why is he afraid to have other gods before him? I always wanted to be God. Well, Bill Ward of Black Sabbath says Satan could be God. So what's really happening in satanic churches? Well, look at the end quote of this satanic mass. Prayers are said backwards. Now, has the world or the field of rock and roll done its own type of backward masking? Surely they have. Now, the first type is done on purpose, as I've mentioned. The second type is the teaching of this man, saying and practicing certain words frontwards that mean something totally different in the reverse. Well, when the Bad Out of Hell album came out by Meatloaf, they had their own cut, of which this second type of backward masking isn't done on purpose, but is the teachings of this particular individual, Aleister Crowley. Now let's listen to this song frontwards and then backwards.
For me his hunger, yes. Again, will he offer me his hunger? Yes. Say, my name for you. Say, my name for you. Say, name for you. Say, name for you. Say, name for you.
Now you see, certain words mentioned frontwards have a totally different meaning backwards. The teachings of Aleister Crowley. Let's examine our third type, and this is the type we want to spend time on, because you'll have to ask yourself one thing. If they didn't do it on purpose, and they weren't following the teachings of Crowley, how did this particular message get in the music backwards? Now, we're moving to the album Judas Priest. Remember? Sad Wings of Destiny? We're looking at the song The Ripper. Let me tell it to you again. There's three types of backward masking. One is done on purpose, like the band Venom. Second is the teaching of Aleister Crowley, done by the band Meatloaf. And third is one that's quite mysterious, is what you're going to hear here off of Judas Priest. First of all, you better ask yourself, if they didn't do it on purpose, who on earth ever put that message there? Let's turn this backwards, the song The Ripper, and you will hear, Hail Satan, send me his shining eyes.
Hail Satan! Hail Satan! Hail Satan! Send me a